Excuse me.
Oh, you're fine. Oh, come over here.
Thanks.
I hope they turn the phone in this way.
You got too many. Too many. I had one with them, started to get all those squared away.
Yeah. She moved about. She get part of the stuff on that.
Yeah, that's right.
And when I asked her, she moved.
Good.
She found on the problem.
Okay. Good.
Everything you said, so. Okay.
Yeah. I did hear.
You did. Hello, you all right? I'm fine. Okay. I just said thanks so much. I feel like the same, but I get it.
You got your exercise, schedule things to do.
I called this morning, get my horse ready, so they can come on. So I said, yeah, so I thought I'd be out, time to get back.
Good evening. Let's see.
No, she hasn't gone over Cheryl's and this is far from her. How are you tonight, Brianna? I'm doing all right. How about you? I'm doing all right. Just been running all day. The one main one is that I threw in my raised bed. I didn't think that they knew, but they did, and they turned out a little bit too well. Did you eat romaine lettuce by chance? Did you eat romaine lettuce by chance? Romaine lettuce? This one. Oh, here. I'm actually gonna. Hi, Jen. Hi, Jen.
Look, look. Baby.
Township convention, or
Best. Suck it up. Paid you right then and there.
finish the last week, the beach is moving right on. Yeah, got to finish that, and then it's, ready
That was nice. Green man.
So I guess it's just the hard to do some, it's just exactly. Okay, that's the flag for the meeting. That's not super. I mean.
I look when you saw my eyes like.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think that.
Oh.
Yes, it must be, she's like.
That's what I said. And it was.
That's how the,
Yeah, you feel like my. When you're in.
maybe on.
Yes. I tried after that. There. Tonight? Yeah, oh gosh.
Where I am.
So she could watch it while.
I thought it was Jeremy. I know, yeah, yeah.
So far, that's one.
Good evening, everybody. It's 6:30. I'd like to go ahead and get started. Brianna, are you ready? Just a moment, please. It appears that I'm having technical issues, as is my fortune. Let me know when you're on. All right, I'm live.
You are?
Oh, yes, ma'am.
It's great.
All right, good evening, everybody. I'd like to call our meeting to order. Please turn off all cell phones. Any citizen wanting to speak during the public comment portion of the meeting needs to complete a comment card and turn it into the clerk. You must complete a comment or matter you wish to address on the card in order to be heard. We ask that you please refrain from commenting until the public comments portion or unless directed by the board. Madam Clerk, see anyone else have any comment cards? Good evening, good to see you guys once again. How are you? I'd like to welcome everybody. We've got some folks with us tonight that we have seen familiar faces. We have not. We have our attorney, Chad Hinton, with us tonight. And I'm not sure who just walked in, but
Sure.
a couple of deputies just walked in. So how are you? We have we're gonna say famous or infamous, I don't know which you want. Butch Nancy with us tonight and Brianna Baker. So, with that being said, and ask everyone to please stand for the pledge. Okay. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. You remain standing. Would you mind saying the invitation for us? I will. Thank you.
Dear Heavenly Father, we are truly grateful for all the blessings you give us every day, Lord. We are thankful for this beautiful weather. And we're thankful for this group that comes together to do the work of our China. Be with us tonight. Let everything go as it is supposed to go. In your holy name. Amen.
You guys may be seated. You all have a chance to look over your agenda. I need a motion to approve the agenda. That's it. All in favor? Anybody? We have, approval of minutes from the following dates. We have our public hearing that was on March 11th, 2025, our regular town meeting, March 11th, 2025, and we have an emergency meeting March 20th, 2025. You all have the opportunity to look at those. Is there, I think,
Should we go ahead, right?
Okay, while that's being passed down, I will say thank you all for being here tonight. Our regular scheduled meeting, was the second Tuesday of the month like it normally is. And we posted it on Facebook, we posted the sign. Our clerk was very sick. Thank goodness she is much better. We had several things in the month to follow, so we are a little bit late this month, but we finally had our April meeting and so I'm glad you're back to your old self. I'm gonna move on right now while you guys have an opportunity to look at that to our public comment. We have citizen requests, petitions, and concerns, and we have comment cards, 2-minute time limit. I have. Is this yours? Yes. I can, all right. Daniel, would you?
I don't think it's, the movie a comment or the agency?
Do you not, this is what you usually do. Do you mind going to the podium though? You need this back?
I need to go to the public.
Yes. I'm gonna go preach.
Yeah.
Comment card, she's got how I get an address put on my property. And then you've got 4 different items down here. Deeds, 204 North Railroad,
Those are the addresses
that are wrong.
on each side of my property and the one that's in front of it.
Okay. We have 4 addresses on here and they're all on North Railroad Street. And I know that this has been brought to our attention with Edgecombe County planning and inspections and with, Edgecombe County that need 911 addresses.
we have several addresses in Coneta that are not correct or appear as legitimate. I know mine is 204 South, and everything for 204 North. I've had everything from mail, packages delivered to ambulance to show up, sheriff deputy show up, when they were supposed to be at 204 North. So we are aware of that. We've been waiting for the county, working with planning inspections. Hopefully, this will be taken care of soon, because another thing that's coming up, we have to have all of our Kelly County what's it called, town addresses updated, because they haven't been in so long, and some of them are not correct. We've got to get that done, so this will be like a town survey of all the properties, and once that's done, it will be corrected that way from our unit. We just have to turn it over to the county to make sure that it's done right. Ray Wilson is the one with mapping, and as soon as we get our part done and turn it into them, he assures me that that will take care of it.
Oh, have you looked at the bottom there? Down, like, by the, I mean, in place.
No, that's something we're working on. And like I said, it's been a problem. It's been a problem for years. I know you do the water, and they've had problems with people coming in when they hook up to get water, that it might not be the address that they think it is. So we're aware of it, but we're working.
My registered deeds told me go to the plan, the plan told me I had to come out here. So, that's it.
Yep, and that's kind of what we've been getting. And that's why it kind of stands for us. Since we've got our new code of ordinances, the Meetings Commission is going to be able to help us with that, because they're aware that we have this address problem. It's not just on North and South Railroad Street. It's several places all over. And you can put something in your GPS and it's going to show up. You might not find it. I have people that will call and say, I'm sitting in the intersection. How do I get to your house? Is it sending it to like speed? So I think it's an Edgecombe County thing. I don't know if you know anything about that. No?
Edgecombe County Planning Department is responsible for the address dedication, so
You've been working on it.
Yeah.
So,
whatever the need for every one for.
and they tell you to come to us, and they told us.
Wait, so they told me to go to the plan told me to come up here.
I know, no, it's round and round, so we're trying to get that fixed before we're well over. Anything else? That's the only part I have. There's nothing else. I would motion to close the public comment section.
I'm making a motion.
Excuse me. So if you sign in, is there a different time for the sign in?
No.
Well, I think some names on the sign in sheet.
Just attendance.
Oh, I didn't know that, okay.
Did you want me to comment card?
Yes, I mean, how do I do that? I'm not familiar with that. What do I need to do?
Okay. Well, we'll give you this time.
Yeah, I wish I had a post that was.
I'll take it first. That's right on. New facility. Mr. Dancy. Council.
Good evening, everybody.
Yeah.
I've been trying to get here to see your facility. When I first started coming, when you all really got me organized, so there's a whole new board. Everybody, that's most of them, leaves up in trees. I do have a plan for you up here. But, nice facility. Very nice. I hear the work y'all doing and, good things that we're gonna be gonna hear good, you're gonna hear bad. So I'm here for myself. And I used to come, back in the day, but I had, take care of my dad, and I wanted to go. with another job. I work full-time job. I do all kinds of stuff. So I'm here, and I probably start coming back when I was coming at that time, that's the only day that, probably did video stop playing
Right.
games and stuff. But, one last thing, I got a call from the, sheriff, about something about protest we're going to be here. And my name, a protest or something, and my name was included. And I have not written or said anything, but I was gonna be a part of the protest. I don't know where that came from. Everybody knows me, I am vocal. I've been doing this stuff since the night. Everything I want to say, I say it, I'm not afraid. I do feel safe tonight, have two deputies here. I like that when I go to meetings. But again, if anybody have any concerns or questions about me, you have a phone, we talk a lot, you have talked in a long time. And I know there's some things, going on and stuff, but
You've been as busy as I have.
you're right. So, anytime there's a question about anything I am doing, please pick up the phone and call me. You have my number, you get to everybody, but it is 252-314-5482. I'm all over social media. And I'm doing this out of pocket, this is what I've been doing since the 90s. I don't get paid to do what I do. But what I do is I hold folks accountable, elected officials, and everybody. I don't care who you are, black, white, blue, green. I suggest that no matter who's for it is, I have no permanent friend, no permanent enemies, and I'm for truth, no matter who's for it is. But please, don't put my name in anything, and without contacting me, because I don't like it. I like to be discredited, especially not knowing, given the opportunity to address it. So I will be coming back every chance I get, because Tuesday night is, what your leave still on too. And,
It's
I don't have a
typically-
leave on that night, so.
Typically the second
will-
Tuesday night of every
Okay.
month, but like I said, we had to change it this time. She was so sick.
I came the last time,
We saw
and
that.
got here to see that.
It wasn't canceled,
Like,
it was postponed.
But I will be coming back next year, so I allow me to address the board.
Thank you. All right, you done? Anybody else? No. Need a motion to close the section. Public comments.
I make a motion that we close out the public comment.
And David, thank you. All in favor? Anybody opposed? All right, I'm gonna go back. We'll share the approval of the minutes for those following days that I had given of the public hearing on March 11th, 2025, the regular town meeting on March 11th, 2025, and the emergency meeting on March 20th, 2025. Everybody's had a chance to review those. I need a motion to approve the minutes as read.
I make a motion to approve the minutes as reading. I second that.
In favor? And anybody opposed? Going to go on to the action items, and I think the clerk and myself will go back and forth. We've got several little things that's come up. Some of it is news that I want to share. Those of you who are here, if this does not apply to you, but there's someone that you may know that it does apply to, please take one of these flyers and share it. Last year, for the first time ever, we had a mobile mammogram unit, and they set up right outside in the parking lot. They were hoping that we would have at least 15 participants. We had 18. They had asked to come back this year, so they will be back on June the 2nd. If it's absolutely free, whether you have insurance or not. What they do is you have to scan the QR code, and once you do that, I put a little information on the back. And what I did with mine is I just wrote on the back, because once you register, it asks for your doctor's first and last name, your doctor's telephone number, and your doctor's fax number. So I went ahead and wrote all that down, so I have it when I started filling it out. Once you have you log on and do this, you can pick your appointment time for 15 minutes apart from 9 to 5 on this day. If we have more than 15 participants, they will stay for a second day, and they'll go ahead and automatically roll it over to June 3rd. The appointment can continue.
that once they get the results, if mine came in a letter now, they write to my chart from my doctor and copy of it to my doctor's office. But like I said, whether you have insurance or not, absolutely free. So please share this because last year when they did it, it was brand new for them and they have received a grant to do this. We're trying to grow their grant and to reach more people. So they came in last Thursday and talked to Jenny and I, and what they did last Thursday, talking to us, they did interviews. All of this is Jenny's fault because Jenny works at SCU, does the sleep studies, and I like to blame you for good things. And a lady came in to get her sleep study done last year who was a breast cancer survivor. And her blood pressure was up a little bit. She was a little anxious. So Jenny's talking to her, trying to calm her down here so she gets in the sleep study. And she started telling her about this and the grant she had done with originally ECU. And she's like, oh, that'd be great if you could y'all come to Conetoe. So that's how this started. Last year was very successful. We plan to do it again this year. What I'm also going to be bringing up to the county and to all the mayors in Edgecombe County that don't know it yet, but I'm going to challenge them because this year they have the opportunity to visit every town in Edgecombe County, where last year they only had the opportunity to visit one town in Edgecombe County. So if we can get this word out there and share this information, I think it's an excellent opportunity to bring this to our citizens, and hopefully it will be something that along with our get off the list initiative will help us there. So there's some copies on that table if you want one, or if you take it to work, church, your neighborhood, anybody that you know, and help us spread the word and see if we can get some people getting this done. The other handout back there on the table is the 2025 Aging Conference. This will be done on June 18th at Edgecombe Community College. We as a group and a group from town did not participate last year because last year, as soon as they put it out there, it filled up just like that. The year before that, they allowed us to function as a satellite for this program, and that's when this remodeling had started, and we were meeting at the new fire department. So we had 18 ladies that day. You were there, you were there, you were there, you were there, and a lot of local ladies. We really had a lot of fun that day. They live streamed to us, so we sat and watched it, but we had nice breakfast treats, we had lunch, we had nice snacks, we had prizes, we had all kinds of things. So they called me last year because we kind of missed the boat. We have had the opportunity to go ahead and raise. This is open to everybody. Once again, it's another standard QR code thing. It's at Edgecombe Community College. They will have different speakers and guests, and some of it will be in the auditorium, some of it will be rotated around. Lunch will be provided for all participants, and this is another thing that's absolutely free, and it's sponsored by the Council on Aging of the Upper Coastal Plains Council of Government for our region. So if you know somebody that would like to attend, there it is back there, and it's also on our Facebook page and in our newsletter. Most of you know that we have finally gotten our updated code of ordinances, and I'm going to speak to 3 things right there with burning in town, litter, and grass cutting, because some of these things, it's not a board thing, it's not a board town committee thing, it's a county and state thing. What we're doing, and we now finally have place to stand on, so to speak, is with our code of ordinances. First of all, with the burning in town, historically, I've done it. Everybody's like, you burn your road waste in town. The people who have burn barrels, can't do that anymore. We
can only burn in the town limits, and it also used to be that you could get a burn permit. That has recently changed for us. You can burn a small fire pit or have a grill in town limits. You can burn yard waste or debris. You can have a trash barrel or a burn barrel. You can have a fire that is usually yard waste. I did not know it and got a phone call 2 weeks ago, got another phone call last week. Edgecombe County is really cracking down your emergency management. Miss Johnson, when they get a call, she does not hesitate. She hops in that truck, she's right out here. And, she said she's been giving warnings and telling people they can't come and why. None of this is kind of like a, I got you kind of moment. This is environmental. This is county and state laws. You simply cannot burn anything. So this is going to be a hard thing for lots of folks who have done this all the time. And like I said, I'm guilty of it. Instead of hauling my limbs and stuff to the street when I work in my backyard, I'm always going to pile. And I've burned. You can see I have pictures of these. But we can't do that anymore. So to save county and the dispatcher's office, everybody some time and trouble, just please be aware of that. If you have neighbors that you see, you know, they historically burn, please let them know. But it's not a board thing, it's county and state thing.
That question. This, fire pit thing you talking about, say we clean our yard up with that yard waste. We cut it up in fire pit lengths, and we burn it.
A little bit at a time, you'll fire pit. A fire pit is for warmth, and a grill is for cooking. If you have a fire pit that is clearly marked, and I know some people have, we had a resident right over here the other day that has bricks around them, and it's clearly marked. I was told if it's a fire pit, and some of you enjoy it, you sit around in the evening, but if it's a small amount, you can't have a bonfire fire in fire pit in the backyard. So
But you can, though, I mean, you can.
you can use your fire pit, but you can't use it to burn all your yard waste. So if you have a fire pit and you have, you know, if you burn for 30 minutes and you have 10 sticks or pine cones or whatever, I'm sure that's okay, but it's not like you're going to see red roaring fire and smoke and she's gonna come on the truck. So, but no, you're not gonna burn that stuff in your backyard. About litter, we have a citizen that walks for dozens every day. And she has been awesome about this, and today was one of those days I saw her out with her, what do you call it, grabber, pickup thing, and a bag. So she's handling the dog, the picture, the bag, and she's going up their streets and picking up litter. She brought it by and threw it in our garbage can. It is mostly beer cans and beer bottles. These things people, it looks like, are just throwing out the windows. We have had instances where people have dumped their whole bag of garbage on other people's property and then left it for people to clean up. We've had instances where there's been some not so nice, really nasty bags of garbage left for people to clean up on their property. This is not okay. We're looking at ways that we can encourage our citizens to encourage others and neighbors not to litter in town. One of the biggest things that we have been doing is cleaning up things. That's part of the ordinance that we have kind of got in place. Coneta can be just, it can really be a beautiful place, be a nice clean place, but we've got to work together to help get it cleaned up. So if you see littering, address it, you know, and if you see something, this happens to me a lot, it'll be every weekend. And sometimes, you know, I look out there on Sunday afternoon, on Monday, there's cans and bottles. Somebody's throwing it on my street. I mean, I'm bus, I just go out there and pick them up and put them in my trash can. You know, if I didn't, it would get to be a problem at a lot, but if we, work together, y'all just make sure that this is something that neighbors and citizens are aware of. The other thing is also,
I did want to make a suggestion regarding our issue of littering. Have y'all considered, like the no littering signs across the road?
got some signs, we consider putting signs up, we also consider working with, Keep American Beautiful Corporation and Keep Edgecombe County Green, which we had done a couple of times before. We've got to get that in place, and once we do that, this is where we can use things like the two of you to help get it out there, let people know. I want citizens to have some pride and feel pride in where they live and what they have, not that they can just drive by, whether it's their own yard or somebody else's property. Just don't do that. I don't know how the sheriff's department feels about that, but, don't want to start calling and saying, hey, we got this authority, can you sit over here and watch? What do you guys do if you get, unless you have an address, what can you really do?
You can look in the trash bags and stuff like that to find the address. But, and I have called people before in the past and told them, say, look, your name and stuff and info, because you're kind of responsible for your trash. And most people don't argue the point, they'll come pick it up. And if they're willing to pick it up, nobody's charged, but I never had anybody press that issue in 23 years, but it's saying, hey, I gave my trash to at the dump site or something like that. I don't know how in there charged me to go to court with it, But in fact, yesterday, me and him were in one of the towns, we went to 58, and somebody had been cleaning out a business out of Scotland Neck and dumped probably 3 dump truck loads worth of paint cans and everything. And the guy was looking at find out who did that, to come out a felony about it.
Right.
So, I usually look through the trash and try to find a name out with a beer can or something like that, obviously. They're not gonna DNA test and spend time in the lab trying to figure out.
Right. And see, and once again, I don't want this to be an I got you thing and we're calling the law to you to push you through a beer can. I just want everybody to get aware of it and be proud of our community and start that citizen empowerment that everybody has the same feeling and we can out for each other.
Madam Mayor, before you move on, since we talk about the ordinance, the noise, loud music. That needs to be addressed to you. It's about to be getting, I know it's getting hot and people want to listen to their music, but is there a time limit? For them to cut their music off or?
I'm not sure if there's time available, but and just so you guys know, you all have a copy of your ordinance in your box today. You can answer that for me.
Yeah, so in the county, ordinance, there, if you pull it up and look, there is no time. There is no decibel level or anything like that. We have to read, decibels. It's where somebody else can hear a disturbing noise or something like that, that is, like, if it's gotta be only heard on your property, you know what I'm saying, which is hard to do. I've been to people's houses and they're like, can you, what about now, is it good now? And I can't tell them it's good, because if somebody else can hear it off your property, it's considered a loud music. And usually like the first 1 or 2 times in a day, we'll warn them. If I go back a third time, I usually sit on the street and see if I can hear it myself. And at that point, the third time, we're still writing a citation, which is a misdemeanor, the county ordinance. But, if it's like we go to this house today and another deputy goes 3 months from now, or no one goes 2 months from now, most of the time, you're not going to write them tickets just because it's so spaced out. But yes, if it's any time of day, and that goes for somebody riding 4-wheelers, even if they're riding on their land and it's 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, unreasonable hours and stuff like that. We usually go there like, 10, 11 by 6, and it's time to hear the stuff on other people's land.
That is something that, like a lot of the things in here, it doesn't just pertain to the town of Conetoe. What they did when they did this code of ordinances, they followed a lot of the county and state guidelines is with them doing that too, with different municipalities, say in Edgecombe County, for example, they're trying to get everybody on the same page. So every incorporated town has the same thing on this too.
But I also want to add to citizens, I know we don't have a lot of people in here, but they look at the live stream. Don't be afraid to call the sheriff office if something bothering you. Cause if that person come and ask a question you about you calling, then you call the office back and tell them the person came over here harassing me because I called the police officer. So don't be afraid to report something. Somebody else may not hear it. Don't be whispering in your own mouth.
All right, the other thing that's not a town thing is a county thing and a state thing, and I'm gonna throw this ball back to you guys to see what you tell me, is about grass cutting, blowing the grass clippings in the street and on the highway. We have a lot of that happens.
That's all over the county. I've never charged anybody with it, I'm not gonna pretend like I know the whole ins and outs of that charge, but I have seen where you could actually charge somebody for that. Right off the top of my head, I could rarely the statute, but, that's definitely all of the whole county thing there. I think potentially because it says it's managed to big around like motorcycles and stuff,
Absolutely.
So,
And these three things and the noise, I forgot that one because we had, these have been some things, kind of like hot topics that have been coming to me constantly in the last 2 weeks. So I know as the weather gets warmer, like you said, there's going to be outside music, there's going to be littering, there's going to be maybe some fire pits burning in the evening, and the grass cutting out the streets. So just once again, just so that everybody's aware of it and we are aware of it and what to tell each other and your neighbors and people in your neighborhood. I'll move on to my next item. My next item was a pleasant surprise. We received an email from Scott Kaiser, and he also put it on the town Facebook page. Scott Kaiser works with Edgecombe County, and he is the director of Edgecombe County Soil and Water Conservation District. The county has some funding, that they're going to spend in the Conetoe area. I have been asking for this forever, and I do know back when we had Floyd and when we had Matthew, parts of town flood. And I know way back, coming to meetings as a citizen, we had neighborhoods and parts of towns and buildings and streets and yards that flood that I don't think they've ever been addressed. We addressed one situation that fixed the problem on Factory Street a couple of years ago. This has given us the opportunity for Scott to come out. I talked to him today. He's coming out to meet with me one day next week. I was told wear some jeans and some snake-proof boots because I got to walk the ditches and canals with him. And so we're going to come out. He's got a map of what they're going to do. They have the funds to start cleaning out the Conetoe Creek and the Valley Canal. And then they're going to come off of that to all the little streams and ditches. And they wind up just like what comes back here behind the town hall. It goes on that way. This is a fantastic opportunity for us, and once again, getting some things cleaned up. I can't tell you, I've lived in Conetoe 33 years, I can't remember when a canal and ditch has been cleaned out. Long time. So we will be looking at that. And this next thing is when they get the plan together, he will probably come out here to speak to the board one night just to let you know what's going on. There is an area in the center of town that is around the park and the station. That area is typically floods when it's heavy rains and yards flood. Historically, residents have been told you live in a low-lying area. Well, there's a drainage problem, and that's part of why it floods. There's nowhere for the water to go quickly enough for the streams and yards and ditches. There are one section of properties over there has no ditches, no drain tiles, no driveways. So this is something that we have been looking at and trying to get some help with, and this kind of just fell in our laps, and, very happy that it did, and it's gonna work out, so we'll keep it informed when this starts. If you have property that's along the Valley Hat Canal, Higgin Creek, or one of these ditches, you'll be contacted because they need to be able to access the right way of the ditch to clean the ditches out. They will not leave any debris. They will haul everything off. So that's another piece plus. But, just to let you know, that's something that's in the works. Now, we'll go over to Kelly for the book report.
First, the board, has everybody had a chance? I see everybody's signed. If you have any questions regarding payrolls on already, bills and invoices paid, or funds deposited? I need a motion to approve those.
I'm making a motion to approve, all the deposits and bills. Second.
Second. Second. All in favor? Nobody opposed? Okay, the budget report. Oh, hold on. Okay, let's take it. Budget report. I'll do it to you every time.
That's all right, no worries. Okay, just to quickly go over some totals, in our general fund, we have $62,937.25. In our power bill fund, we have $60,379.72. In our money market account, we have $83,608.30. And in our OSBM grant fund, we have $8,204.11 remaining. This brings our total funds to $215,129.38. In that grant fund, even though we do have those funds remaining, we're still in the process of getting these windows fixed. And we do have an invoice, but we're waiting to pay that once the project is complete. And so then you'll have around $1,000 left in that fund. As far as all of our reporting, the quarterly tax wage report, 941, the NC Employment Commission report, all that has been completed and submitted for this quarter. The Power Bill report is due, the first part, which is the certified statement, the street listing, and the Power Bill map is due July of this year. That is something that we are working on right now, trying to get a updated Power Bill map. We have contacted the surveyor. I think we're still waiting to hear from them. But it's been a few years since we've had that done.
And this goes back to your question,
About the streets, and we're in the process of trying to get all that updated. Let me see here. The LGC 203 report and the Power Bill report, both those are due in July. As far as the audit for fiscal year 23-24, I am so pleased to tell you that that has been submitted. And the amended contract was also submitted by our CPA, Greg Reagan. That was done on April the 23rd. We are now working on it. So we're now working on getting everything together for this next audit. We'll be meeting with Greg Reagan when he sends us a date to go over the audit report findings. And I will do that's all about.
oh, I'm ready for the motion.
Yes.
To approve. I make a motion to approve the annual report. I'm second. All in favor? I don't know what it is. I do that to you every single time. Never.
They were complete report.
You got the budget. All right.
Okay, for our budget report, we are in the middle of doing our budget, for the fiscal year 25-26. And, as soon as we get that done, we're gonna get it submitted over to our coach, but right now we're still waiting on, the final tax figures from the Edgecombe County Tax Office. So once we get all that done, we will, be submitting all our, budgets to our coach and getting our budget done for the year, hopefully soon. Thank you.
All right. We need a motion to approve budget report.
I make a motion to approve
budget report.
I said, motion.
All in favor? Nobody opposed. We had a board workshop, and there were a couple of things that we discussed during the workshop. There are other opportunities that have presented themselves for some needs of helping Anita. This out there, and I can find out about it, or I find out about it, and we do everything I can to track it down and see what can be done to help us grow. Bruce, I cannot pronounce his last name. It starts with an N, but all I can tell you, he works with the Department of Commerce. He says NC Main Street Initiative, NC Streets and Rural Planning Center. He contacted us, I want to say, December, and he stopped by one day and was not here, but he wanted to come back out. So what we decided was, we're getting through the holidays and we talked in January. So we talked in January, and then it was like, he wanted to come and help us, but their travel had been cut. He couldn't come here. So we started emailing and talking on the phone. What he has proposed is the possibility for him to work with us to develop a strategic economic development plan for the town. It won't just be for the town of Conetoe, it would be for the whole town. Business and citizens, everything included. So we got a date he's going to be coming. We mentioned this the other night, and since we got the okay to move forward with him, he has sent the resolution requesting the services of NC Main Street and Rural Planning Center rural planning program to assist with the development of an economic development strategic plan for the town of Conetoe. It's not very long, about 4 paragraphs. I can read that to you real quick. Whereas the Board of Commissioners of the town of Conetoe intends to develop an asset-based economic development strategic plan project for the town to identify opportunities and provide a framework on which to build and grow the local economy. Whereas the NC Main Street and Rural Planning Center's rural planning program, and the program provides economic development, strategic planning services to rural communities in North Carolina, and whereas the town would like the program to assist the town with the project, and whereas the town and the program have reached agreement on the scope of work for the project as outlined in the attached memorandum of understanding. Now therefore be resolved that the Board of Commissioners of the town of Conetoe hereby request that the program assist the town with the development of an economic development strategic plan and expresses its commitment to review and adopt the plan. This is everything that we discussed, and attached is what we discussed in our planning meeting, the memorandum explaining what we'll do, the dates and times and so forth, and what we can expect from this partnership. So, I need a motion to accept and approve this resolution, and if so, I will sign and date it today's date and give it to the clerk to attest.
I'll make a motion that we, still, approve the economic development strategy resolution.
Need a second.
A second.
All in favor? Anybody opposed? Right. It's the 29th day, right? Well, you pass that. What I'll do next with this guy is, I will stand in tomorrow and I will email it back to them so that we can go ahead and get started. So we're ready to start at second. Just in, so I'm looking forward to that and see what we can do. Bring some work and development to the table. That's it. And let me see. We also discussed at our workshop a resolution, adopting a resolution for Sergeant at Arms. We had the opportunity to read this. I'm not going to read this for you all again, but it's basically stating that the Edgerton County Sheriff's Office, when we meet or we have anything, that would be our Sergeant at Arms. Since we don't have any local police department, they are who we use in the phone. So I need a motion to approve this resolution appointing Sergeant at Arms. So, all in favor? Anybody opposed? And I can get that signed and scanned and sent to you tomorrow. So there. We have discussed this and Chad has come tonight. We try not to bother him and feel the need for him to be here unless it's something that I really need for him to explain and do. We've talked about this, and on April 11th of 2023, we adopted and signed, the amendment to our charter stating that the town of Conetoe would begin to participate in staggered terms, which meant we would no longer have the problem that we had when this board got on no transition. There would always be somebody on the board when new people came on the board, so we will never be where we were before, because I'm telling you, that was a very difficult thing to struggle through and survive with no help, no previous board members. Brianna brought this up in a meeting that I had spent things and turned it into Jerry School, who is our local board of elections director in 2023, and this was adopted. What we have found out and looking back at it, Dan Hartzog was our attorney when we did this. I have a copy. In the very last paragraph, top part is right, section 2.1 for the regular municipal elections is correct. Section 2.2 for the conduct and negative elections for the mayor and members of the town board is correct. The election of the mayor is correct. The section 2.3 election of the town board. There were some typos, numerical errors, where they had to put 5 members of the board. We are a mayor council form of government, so the mayor has 4 board members, so that number should have been 4, not 5. Further down in that paragraph, he's got the 2 members who receive the highest number of votes shall serve a 4-year term, and the remaining 3 members, that 3 should be 2 as well, because he's still including the mayor as a board member. So that's just typographical and numerical error. And I think the rest of it's correct. There's just 2 spots in there, right, Chad?
That's right. Yeah.
Okay, so we talked about this and talked about it. I have been back and forth and round and Chad's been so patient because I'm like, I am not a lawyer, explain this to me, like, in kindergarten terms. So I want to make sure it's right. You
Yeah.
mind stepping in, telling the board what we need to do and how we need to correct these errors?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Mayor. My understanding in reviewing the ordinance that was adopted 2023 is exactly as she's described. There were 2 typos with a number of board members to stand for election. And so because that's part of the town charter, that's essentially like the town of Conetoe's constitution. It's the super ordinance. There's a statute that specifically states how you can amend your charter. And you have to follow that every time you change your charter. It's not like a regular ordinance amendment. So because that ordinance in 23 amended the charter, my suggestion and recommendation to you all as a board is to follow that same process again to correct the error. Even though it was a technical error that may be made right by simple motion, I think to protect the town and make sure that its charter is written correctly and documented correctly, if you go through the process laid out by statute. So the first step in that is to adopt a resolution of intent to consider an ordinance amending the charter. And that's what is being passed out tonight. It essentially recites the statute that authorizes the town board to amend the town charter. And it states that we're going to intend to hold a public hearing next month to allow the public to comment on any change, which it is just a technical change that hopefully won't be too much misunderstanding regarding that. And then after the public hearing, it will be up to you all to consider the ordinance, which I have also drafted and that's attached. You don't have a copy of that, that's up to you as well. But it essentially changes those 2 numerical designations, just as the mayor described. So tonight's the first step, if you're willing to proceed in that regard, to adopt a resolution of intent, and that is the proposed or charter amendment. Correct. Yes. I'd be happy to answer any questions I can. I think once this is approved, it'll clean up the instructions to the Board of Elections. You do have filing that will open up in July for those fall elections coming up in November, so we need to get this straightened out before then.
Okay, any questions, concerns, discussion? This is a you guys' decision, or decision. That's what I need. I mean, I need, what do you want, I want to do, so I need to know from everybody.
Just make sure we follow the proper steps, and you got to receive it, but. Right, do what I do, that you probably will put in there.
Agree. All right, so, that being said, correct me if I'm wrong, I won't make sure this is right this time. I need a motion to approve and adopt this resolution of intent to consider an ordinance amending town charter.
So moved.
You guys so good. All in favor? Anybody opposed? All right, so now will you explain what our next steps are?
Yes, ma'am. So the resolution calls for a public hearing, and the date that is there is May 27th. That's the day of your workshop. It's already scheduled. And the reason I did not put May 13th is because the statute requires a minimum of 10 days for notice, and your clerk needs time to get this notice published. So I felt like the 13th might be too soon. It also has to happen within 45 days of adopting this resolution of intent tonight. So May 27th seemed like a perfect date, and so that's when you'll have a public hearing. That'll be separate from your public comment period. This is specific to this ordinance amendment, just like you do other public hearings and other matters. And then once the public comments closed, it'll be up to you all to the final vote.
And you're coming back to guide me and hold my hand through this
I will try.
too. Would you have that to tell she got to sign that and just to that as well?
We'll make sure we put that in there. Very.
Sure. Yeah, you can.
We won't hold you long.
But you got to see all the language and everything that I did not want to try to explain that. Okay, while she's signing that, there's nothing else, no closing comment. I'm gonna move to adjourn the meeting. The next regular monthly meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 13th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Town Hall Boardroom. There will be a board workshop on Tuesday, May 27th, 2025 at 6:30 p.m. in the Town Hall Conference Room. And along with that as well, now a public hearing portion for this resolution, correct? All right. I need a motion to adjourn.
I make a motion to adjourn this meeting till May 13th.
I second. All in favor? Anybody? All right. Thank you all so much.
Thank you.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.